I'd like to invite on stage Lucy Inyawarai, a DEI advisor. Please come on stage. Thank you. Please, can we have a round of applause for her? Welcome. So, what are some key strategies for building strong partnerships between governments, businesses, and community organizations to create lasting economic change?
Hello everyone, my name is Lucy. I work here at the City of Brampton as an advisor. I think that's a very good question. How can we build relationships that will create lasting economic impacts? The first thing I'd say is alignment. A lot of us want to start businesses and initiatives from wherever we are, but we don't bother to see what the government is looking to achieve in a particular financial year. So the way the government operates is we have plans, we have annual plans, we have quarterly plans. There's the budget that's done every year, and the government decides this is what we want to work on and invest in. So what does that mean for you as an African or as a Black person in our community? It means that you look at what the government is trying to achieve, and then you align your request within that. So perhaps maybe there's no production of funding that has been published. You could come together in the spirit of what my predecessors have said. Come together with your fellow business people in your neighborhood and decide that this is the direction we want to move to, and then lobby the government to have opportunities for you. I think the reason why African communities are left behind is because we do not take the opportunity to lobby and ask for what we think could help us benefit. The other thing I think we could do is to be accountable once we get opportunities from the government. The reason why sometimes they stop, I think you had Ephraim who came before me said that they've gotten funding, but why do organizations from our communities get defunded? I'm not saying his, I'm saying just, there's been precedents of funding before. Why do we get defunded? We get defunded because sometimes we fail to be accountable for the funding that we are given. We need to be great custodians of every single dollar that we are given for the community benefit. It will keep you employed when you get the money, but make sure that it's doing the purpose that it's intended for, and that when you are coming back to the government, you have the audited statements you have to require. That is not something that we can advocate to have exemptions for. I worked the past 10 years in working with anti-Black racism. I worked at the first government ever unit at the City of Toronto to confront anti-Black racism, and we've continuously lobbied for opportunities for Black people. But what we cannot exempt is irresponsibility in the side of finances, and that sort of discourages the flow of funding into our communities. So I would ask us to be accountable, be in alignment, and also be up to par with whatever is needed in community, be up to par with technology, be up to par with one another, keep one another accountable. And the last thing I'll say in the interest of time is let us avoid competing with one another. So sometimes there'll be a publication for funding, and they'll say that this is a funding for, community youth, for example. And then we want to have 10 different groups from Africa, one from Kenya, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Uganda, and Tanzania, all competing for the same amount of money. Why don't we come together, create the United Front of African Youth, and apply for that money? Because then we're not competing with one another, we're standing in the face of the government as a united people saying, when you support a Nigerian youth, you have supported a Kenyan youth, you have supported a Ugandan youth, and that qualifies for funding. I've looked at a lot of funding applications, and sometimes they're good, but you just don't know who to fund over the other, because Why didn't they just come together and work together, create a community of practice, and then apply for the funding? So that's what I'd say.